Oh, is it recording? Oh, hold on. Hey everyone, it's me, Empress Arcana, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Hi guys. Oh, it's been a time. I'm still I have How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Today is the Pisces supermoon, full moon, lunar eclipse. How are you feeling? Oh, all right. Let me get this closer to me because I don't want to have to reach out. So there we go. I want to get comfy because, yeah, I've actually hesitated to record this because or record any of these anymore because I'm just so tired of. I almost said I'm so tired of talking. Yes and no. I'm tired of talking because I have so many intuitive insights lately that it just doesn't stop. And I should have been prepared for this when Jupiter entered Gemini. I knew that this was what was going to happen. But I didn't bargain for everything else that happened to and is happening. So astrology, doing the astrology thing is pretty damn cool, but also painful. But I don't mind sharing some of these vulnerabilities with you guys. That's what I usually do with my Cancer MC. And if I'm not mistaken, Mars in Cancer right now is conjunct my MC. So I feel a pull to take some action in how I express myself through the public eye and so forth. And it might get very emotional, but whatever. I'm groggy as all hell, so I don't know if I'll cry. It's been such a time, you know, and I'm really tired, but yeah, I know all of us are. It's like wondering, where is this journey going to lead us? It's so exhausting. I personally feel that I've been working on my personal growth for so long. It's like, when am I gonna get to the save point? I don't feel like I've gotten to a save point in a long time. But that's just a feeling. I'm sure I have. It's been so crazy. I don't even know where to start. I don't want to talk too deep into certain personal things, but because it's been a lot of uprooting. I've said that a lot this year. A lot of a lot of big changes, but starting from within. For me, I feel like the astrological transits, some higher power, what have you, or just whatever it is, has chosen this time for me in the last 2 years specifically to rip me apart of the ego of anything I once knew to start fresh. It's basically the universe's way of saying, we see your potential, but all this needs to go. And in order for you to be that person that you want to be, that old you has to die. And I've been having several ego deaths, as anyone that has followed my Empress Talks know. And that's why I've like, oh my God, I gotta like pull back and not post so much. I don't want to overwhelm anyone that does listen. That's not my intention ever, because I know that I've been going through a very, very deep and spiritual, intense dark night of the soul, ego death after ego death. And it's funny because I tried to make light of it several times in other audios. I was just recollecting all this. And at that moment, I needed to do that. Right now, I'm more grounded in regards to my journey. Still in pain, emotionally, still ripping apart the old parts of me that don't service me. To start fresh, to really succeed where I want to go. And that means ripping away identities that just, even if I feel I've been authentic all my life, it doesn't matter. There are parts that just need to transform, need to be renewed, alchemized, if you will. Temperance is my year card this year. Then it's the devil. I'm still curious about that one. But anyway, where's my water? I, all right. And I've been looking a lot. I've been uncovering a lot of little clues. So what's been happening to me? I've been listening to spirits. So since after the full moon, the second full moon in Capricorn, July 20, after like July 22nd onward, I've been going through like major training of the mind, of everything, to rip apart everything that was holding me back in concepts, in expression, in anything, so that I can be able to regulate myself in a way that I do not need to rely so heavily on another source outside of myself. And again, that doesn't mean, I'm not saying that we don't like ask for help or ask for support when it comes to friendships or partnerships, but I've learned that for me, if I am not standing strong within myself, I I've struggled in my life. So I'm regaining my personal power from all sources that I've given too much to. And I have, unfortunately, I feel given too much to too many people. And again, that's not anyone's fault. That was my choice. And that's another thing that I've been learning. I've been listening to myself and my thought patterns, and I've been listening to other people that have spoken to me. And I've noticed that one of the biggest things that people do is limit themselves by saying, I can't do this because of this circumstance. Yes, I'm not saying, and I'm not trying to diminish what is happening to the person or to me, because dear God, but it all stems from a original choice that one makes. And a lot of people do not take accountability when making that primary choice that leads you to that. I've had a lot of rude awakenings in sense of this, and I will briefly mention, for me, my fourth house themes, which is the roots, the home, the security, because I have that in Capricorn. And as I've talked a lot already about Pluto entering, re-entering Capricorn, currently at the 29 degrees, the anaretic degree. And we are at the last leg of this race with this transit. And for me, what this has shown me is that in matters of the fourth house, and anything it aspects, of course, but let's stick to one. I don't want to overwhelm. For me, it's the fourth house of the home and how I present myself. I have my Mars retrograde there. I have my IC, I have my Neptune retrograde as well. All that is in Capricorn, and these elements are influencing my home life and my personal life, where I've needed to be more assertive, express my anger, but also know my power, hold my power, and not to misuse it, right? Not to misuse my anger out of loss of control. So I'm learning how to regulate all this. And I feel that because for me, I'm learning that for every rising sign, we all have lessons in this lifetime, but looking at it astrologically. Oh man, I'm hungry. Sorry. I felt my tummy. I'm like, I'm hungry. I've been using too much of my brain these days with all this information that I'm collecting for the books I'm wanting to write on astrology. I've been doing a lot of note taking, so when I am in a better state of mind, that I can start putting together these books so I can publish them through my personal experiences and all that. I know it's a lot of talk right now, but I just like to talk about it and voice my intentions, because I have a lot like in line for what I want to do. And the reason I go quiet is because I am working so hard on these books. I'm working so hard on my oracle decks. I'm working so hard on my future. Something that for a very long time I never wanted. And I remember, and this is a tough one, I'll go back to the fourth house now, but it's a tough one. And I know I have a lot of destiny points being activated, have been activated in my chart, including my North Node in Aries, my seventh house of partnerships, relationships, my vertex in Taurus, my eighth house of shared income, shared intimacy, the taboo, sex, all that, whatever. All these things are being activated and showing me lessons that I have to integrate so that I can be my most successful and abundant, healthiest self, best version of me every day. That is my goal, because it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Anyway, so how long have I been talking? Already 10 minutes. Jesus Christ. Oh, my neck. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still really fucked up. Okay, so I'm learning about how... Damn, I lost my train of thought. There was a point to this. That's it. So what's been happening a lot, I have so many things that pop up that I just forget. But yeah, I'm just trying to balance the scales for myself. There you go. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you very much for leading me back to my point. So, so for me, I'm a Libra rising, so I'm all about the scales and balance in my chart. And it shows beautifully because we Libra risings have our sister signs, the opposing houses, as what would be the sign that originates of that house. So for example, I'm a Libra rising. The seventh house of partnerships and relationships would be, the seventh house of Libra, but I have that in Aries. I have it flipped, as I've mentioned before. So for me, it's about finding a balance between these energies, every part of this in my chart, in my life. So my life purpose, in short, to put it as minimalistic as possible, it is about the balance of my life, of myself, and how I portray that. And of course, when you look deeper into your natal chart, you can find other points of destiny, of, if you so choose to, of course, because you can also just look at it as an analytical tool for self, a psychological way of looking at your astral makeup and how it can help you to evolve as a human being. That's why I love it so much. So, yeah, fourth house. For me, I've been learning that balancing these energies are what will help me succeed through the challenges that I've been facing. I've had to take, and that's another thing, the word responsibility. I know this might sound really dumb, but for me, growing up, the word responsibility, I would just assume, because I would just hear my parents or an adult say, this is your responsibility. And that's my dog snoring, I'm sorry. And I never saw it as responsibility, your ability to respond. I always heard the word responsibility as like, okay, you got to do this because it's being thrust upon you to do. It is your responsibility. But if the ability to respond, it's your ability, your power to respond, that's yours. You have the ability to respond if you choose to, because everything is a choice. And it takes me to the Lovers, because the Lovers is about a choice. It's not just about relationships. It is the harmony, the balance. It's so fucking beautiful. I love all the synchronicities I've realized within my my tarot profile, my natal chart, all of these links to being so balanced and really like relearning my true self, because my south node, which is your like past lives or your like what you already know in this lifetime, wherever you have your south node. I have it in Libra in my first house, which the lunar nodes are currently in Libra, and the south node is in Libra as well. And the North Node is in Aries. So I had that activation as well in the last 2 years because I have my North Node in Aries. And I learned something really, really cool. This is a little bit, it's not too personal, but I just want to share it anyway. But in regards to that, I've made decisions in my life that have led me to this point where I'm here in my fourth house themes. And by pointing fingers or blaming others, it doesn't get you anywhere. Does that make you feel better? It doesn't make me feel better. I know that I have to be accountable of my actions. You know, I made a choice regardless of how my circumstances were around me. And this is a hard truth. A lot of people don't want to accept that despite their current circumstances, there's still a choice to make. So even if your circumstance, and I know this is rough, guys, I had to tell this to myself because I've been through some really dark stuff that I won't discuss here, that I felt so powerless. But this is the thing. It's all about the mind here. Okay, guys? So for example, there's a situation where, for me anyway, I didn't have the funds or anything. I was scared to lose my home. I was presented with a choice to move back with my cousins. And then all the other things that transpired after that I'm not going to talk about that, but I was scared. And out of my own fear that I wasn't going to be successful because I was trying, after my mom passed away, I tried to hold the fort because the house wasn't paid and all that. And I know I'm being so fucking open and vulnerable here, guys. Oh God, when aren't I? It was just me. I was by myself. I was working a shitty job. I loved it. I was working with kids, but it was still shitty. I was, it wasn't optimal for many reasons. Anyway, so I made the conscious decision to move with my cousins. Even if I felt that I was, cornered, it was still my choice. And once we make that tough decision in our mind, or like that realization, that connection that it was still a choice that we made, it's a hard truth, but we regain our power. Okay? By owning up to your decision, you reclaim your power. You're like, okay, well, I did this and it got me to this. What can I do next in regards to this situation? And that's what I am doing right now. So it's not about, because I truly believe everyone is you pushed out. You point fingers, you're pointing the finger to yourself, man. You run away, you're running away from yourself. There's something, if you're running away from a person because you can't face them for whatever reason, A, B, C, D reason, whatever, there's a reason why you're running. You're hiding from yourself. There's something deep within yourself that you don't want to open up to, you don't want to admit. And that's the hard truth. Oof. And that's what I've been learning for myself. To be accountable of all my actions and know that, okay, this is the first step. I realize this happened. I did this. Now what? I am taking, accountability, responsibility. That is my ability to respond to this situation and go for it. By saying these statements, for me, I feel like I'm in more control than when I relinquish and say, oh my God, it's because of this limitation or this circumstance. Dear God, I can't do this because of this. Yes, it sucks. Whatever situation you might find yourself in, I've been in so many. And just because I've wanted to be kind and I had the best intentions in my mind, right? Most of us do. Most of us have the best intentions and they don't come out the way that we wish that they would have come out. That happens. That's life. These are lessons. I could kiss me. I've gone through so freaking much. I've actually held back talking about these things, about making these Empress talks, because there's this part of me that I'm still healing and I don't want to sound so bitter. But you know what? It's the process. I'm healing. I'm not going to tell you guys I'm not feeling bitter about certain circumstances that I feel that I'm still trying to regain control of in my own personal way. And that's it. I'm not going to waste time pointing fingers, man. I'm not going to waste time saying, oh, it's because of this. No, I chose to do this and this is where it got me. Now what? That's taking control and keeping yourself empowered. You know? A lot of people can't face themselves. I've been facing myself every fucking day. I've been looking in the mirror, crying, looking at myself. I'm like, why did I make the decisions I made? But that's life. There was a lesson. In fact, this is something pretty cool for me. Might sound a little bit weird, but I'll share it with you guys. So I've been doing a lot of astrology work. And I was wondering, in my fourth house themes, if I made a mistake by doing what I did. There are a couple of things, actually, that astrology has shown me. Astrology has been kind of like my comfort. Because I've been learning and bouncing ideas off of astrology and philosophies so that I can feel stronger, be more empowered, because I would say, God, this happened. Why? And this and that, and ask all these questions. And I've been very fortunate that I've been listening to my higher self, higher power, spirit, what have you, whatever you believe in. But what I believe in everything. I am so damn open-minded. I believe in it all. And that's what makes it so much more exciting to just be so open to everything, to life, to the experiences. When you look at life and you experience life through the lens of, okay, this was, what is this teaching me? So that you can feel it as an experience, like, oh, I took a test. This is school. I know not everyone wants that. I have a lot of Sagittarius placements and degrees in my chart, and Gemini, of course, too. I'm very much activated in these houses, and it's my higher learning, and I've always wanted to be a teacher. And in some way, shape, or form, I feel I am a teacher, a spiritual teacher, life coach, whatever. I just want to help. I want to help and assist myself on my growth, on my journey, and help others. It just feels right for me. So anyway, I digress. So I decided this is how I know that Spirit has been guiding me throughout this whole journey. I decided to look up the year of the house, this house this property, when it was built, 1972. And I go, And I intuitively got the rest of the information, and I drew up a chart for this property, and looking at the placements in the sky, and looking at the placements in the sky. This house, there's a connection through my own natal chart, through degrees. For example, my sun is at 27, 27 degrees in Gemini, ninth house. Oh my gosh, sorry, that was my throat. It made a weird noise. Ew. I'm not cutting that off. I don't fucking care. I'm so tired. Okay. I just have enough juice in my brain to talk. I'm like, listen, my third eye is so open right now. Hello. Hi, how are you? It's always open. I'm open. I'm so stupid. Anyway, 27 degrees, Gemini, ninth house. Don't get me started that I have my Fama asteroid exactly conjunct my 27 degrees sun in my ninth house, and a lot of other things that I've noticed that I have a lot of faded points when it comes to spirituality. I was meant to follow this path. I was meant to have this awakenings, several ego deaths, this dark night of the soul, several nights of the soul. Ooh, that sounds spicy. Ooh. Will your psyche be with my psyche and have the best night of like this, the dark night of the soul ever? Oh. I'm so freaking silly. Well, either way, I called the natal chart for or like this chart for this house, this property. I called it the Wise House because we live on Wise Road. I've always thought that was very interesting, very just, if you will. It's been painful as all fucking hell, but anyway, the numbers of this house, which I won't give that, but like the numbers of this house, add up to 13, and I always and then reduced to 4. 13 is the death arcana, 4 is emperor. And I always thought to myself, because I always look at numbers, I always look at these synchronicities back when they got the property in 2018. And I go, are you guys sure about this house? I remember this quite. And they're like, yeah, da, 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 da. I'm like, okay. It's very important. I'm going to give you guys a tip. If you guys believe in this, because if you don't believe in it, it's not even in your radar. It doesn't matter. If you have a belief system, because it's when you have a belief system that it creates more synchronicities in your 3D reality, in your matrix, to give you signs that, yeah, okay, this is in alignment with what you are thinking, what's in your subconscious, what's in your consciousness, yada, yada, boo. Okay. So I go, are you sure? Okay. Yeah. This property is a number 13. That's a karmic number. And it is associated with death and change and rebirth. And dear God, has it been for it. And not only that, that chart, the Wise House chart that I drew up, the vertex point, which is an unavoidable fate, is conjunct my 27-degree Gemini sun in my ninth house. That's just one of the many points, because there's so many. Yeah. And I basically, this chart, without boring you guys with all the aspects and details of this, I saw how this experience was meant to happen for me in my belief system. And it made me feel better, because that means that everything I've gone through, it gave me a little bit of like, okay, this was part of a bigger plan that I don't know of yet. Much like another point that I'll make is another vulnerable point, but I will share it with you guys. But yes, in terms of I was meant to go through this so I can go through an awakening of my self-worth and how to stand firm in my beliefs, my boundaries, in fourth house themes. So there was a bit of destiny at play. And there's other points. There's another destiny point in the chart as well, in the Wise House chart that I drew up. Every time I say the Wise House, I get all excited because I think of one of my favorite shows, The Haunting of Hill House. I think I might rewatch it this Halloween season. The other ones didn't hit as much, but the Wise House. Oh my gosh! Listen, if I manage to make a show, listen, I my noggin, my creativity, my world building, I got this. But I've just been so exhausted when it comes to a lot of things. But anyway, another point that I noticed in charts, I figured spirit, I feel, leads me to certain synchronicities and stuff. So I was led to certain asteroids to look into. I looked into Parvati, and when I looked it up, so one of the things, I have Vesta at 6 degrees in my Aries house, opposing my Libra rising, and Persephone asteroid at 7 degrees. It's opposing. My Vesta and my Libra rising are opposing each other. And for the longest time, especially with I don't want to say my track record, that sounds so bad, but my experiences in love and lack of, I don't know, whatever. when I saw these points, because Vesta is the sacred flame, where your spiritual devotion, right? And it's opposing my body, my rising sign, my appearance, how I present myself in this world, my Libra, the scales, whatever. But at the time when certain things happened and I felt very victimized or whatever, still healing this stuff, I go, okay, is my chart saying that I'm just meant to be like a freaking spiritual, like a priestess or something, but just to be alone and not have any relations with anyone, or like, intimate relationships? That sounds really stupid, right? Because I'm like, but then I look at my eight, and then I get a little bit like, I got self-conscious, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. Is this what this is? I mean, of course, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, astrology said it. I'm not going to like break the mold. No, I don't fucking care. But it does, there's that point of, you see it in something that you believe in. It's like, oh no, am I not meant to be with anyone? Because my experiences have been kind of like, ugh. No, not kind of. They've just been, ugh. They have been learning experiences, but they're, ugh. And that's not true though. The Parvati asteroid is about divine union with Shiva, and basically a divine partnership and union. And it's conjunct. I thought this was so fucking cute. I'm like, I needed this, okay? Listen, sometimes we just need that validation. And I know that validation can get toxic if we depend on it too much. But if we believe in ourselves and we get extra validation, that's just bonus points. Okay. That's something that I'm working on too, because I notice how people always seek validation from others. And that's outside of yourself. Even though everyone is you pushed out, if you're yourself, you're not happy where you're at and you can't validate yourself, then it can lead to other issues that you need to work on in this lifetime, in my opinion, from what I've experienced personally. So, my Parvati asteroid is exactly conjunct my North Node at 28 degrees in Aries, my 7th house of relationships and partnerships. And that made me smile because I go, oh, okay, there's hope for me yet. I'm meant for a divine union. I still believe in this twin flame journey. Don't get me started on that shit. Listen, I might be a fucking monk at this point. But I have a spiritual purpose. I have a higher purpose, and I have chosen the higher route. I have not, in my opinion, I refuse to. It's important to have elements in the 3D to work on if there's lessons and stuff, but I want to ascend. And 3D aspects of life that keep us in a lower vibration, I don't want that. I want a high level union. I want a high level partner that knows their worth and knows that they can validate themselves within themselves. And everything else follows. Not to run away from themselves or to, I want them to be strong within themselves. So it encourages me to do the same. Because if anything, and I haven't really been following, I've been really focused on myself, guys. That's why I haven't been posting. I have been dealing with my own personal issues on my end. And then, fulfilling orders, of course. But I have not been very active on the internet. I just watch spiritual stuff to kind of ground me. Dude, meditations for me, I literally meditate for hours. I literally get my books. I do the light work 3 to 4 hours. And I know that not everyone has that time because of the, their schedules and whatnot. I'm not saying you do you, boo boo. You know what I mean? For me, because of the downtime that I have and I'm working towards something that will get my life going faster soon, I'm taking that downtime to do all the meditative work so I can heal myself from these experiences that I had that were very detrimental to my mental health. And I'm working on bettering myself, because that's why I still feel a strong connection to my twin flame, because I have the highest desire to be the best version of myself, even though whatever's showing up in the 3D or lack thereof, I haven't really been paying attention because I need to focus on me. But I want to ascend. I want to be a spiritual teacher. I want to continue working on that. This is something that I know I'm very good at. I've always felt kind of like, oh, embarrassed because I'm like, damn, am I sounding too kooky? But like the thing is, it doesn't matter. If I'm kooky to one person, they don't listen. They don't listen, and that's it. I'm just being myself, and I am delivering a message that I feel that someone might need to hear. If I'm recording it, it could just be a message for me. But recording this in itself is a testament to how much I've grown. And I feel so good about that, guys. I remember when I was recording and I was just, and some of that stuff is still up on the channel. Dear God. I feel embarrassed, but at the same time, not, because it was part of my journey. I was suffering. I was in pain. And I had to express myself at that moment how I felt. And at that moment, I really felt that I had support of someone that I really cared for. And I unfortunately leaned into an energetic codependency. And that's on me. That was me. I want to be stronger. Oh, I got a little emotional. Sorry. That doesn't mean I don't love my twin. I haven't talked about this. Oh, fuck, man. But I also recognize that we're on different parts of our journey. And they've decided to live their life the way they want to. And I have to be accepting of that for myself and grow from it, not stagnate. It's hard. I'm still working on it. I'm still healing. That's all I have to say about that. But anyway, so it's been a time. It's been a journey. But yeah, with the amount of spiritual up-leveling that I've had in the last 3 months alone, big time. Oof. It's amazing. I can feel my chakras more prominently. When I'm doing a reading for someone, I can feel what chakras they need healing. And I haven't even finished the Reiki program. This is just my natural abilities that I'm reawakening. I'm reawakening them, mama. I'm reawakening them. I'm reawakening or something, to my divine purpose, to my divinity, to my knowing that this matrix is just that. I'm learning, and I'm still attached to things because otherwise I wouldn't get so emotional, maybe, I feel. But what we're experiencing is part of something greater. And these lower vibrational experiences, sometimes we experience it because there's a karmic lesson that needs to be, or a karmic contract that needs to be completed, in all sense of that. For me, Pluto and Capricorn transit, my contract was with my living situation. And I won't go deeper into that, but yeah. I don't know if this will be relevant still, because I actually wrote notes and then I didn't. Okay. Yes, I will share this to end this, because it's I think a little too long. And if anything, I'll make another one. I had notes. But this is what wanted to come through, and I'm proud of myself that I got as much as I did out. It's been very hard to talk. I've been having issues with my throat chakra, feeling a block. I've thought to myself, maybe this is my twin having a major throat chakra blockage as well. I don't know, because I haven't been keeping tabs with them. But it's a feeling that I have. In honesty, I know that when the moment is right, everything will align. But I have to relinquish expectations. I waited and waited, and I can't do that to myself. Not just in this journey of twin flames, but also in my life. I've always waited on others, and I can't do that. That's outside of me. I need to do this for me. I always saw, and I always see, the potential in everyone. I see what they are. I can see what they become. The good. I always want the good for people and their potentials. But I always pour too much into everyone else's cups. I got to pour into mine. And to my, yeah, to mine. My divine wine, if you will. You know? And if anyone ever needs assistance, guidance, I'm here. That's part of my purpose. That's part of it. Because I feel that something about divine union is also my purpose, considering that my North Node in the 7th house alone, and then Parvati is a different story. But I think about this and I go, yeah, I'm meant to show people the importance of autonomy and show it to myself too. Look at that, right? Everything has come full circle. And let me tell you, this full moon in Pisces, that's going to slowly go into Aries as well. But this lunar eclipse starts the first taste of the nodes, the lunar nodes changing signs. We've had them for like almost 2 years in Aries and Libra, which is the relationship sector. And we'll then be moving into Pisces. The North Node will move into Pisces. And the South Node will move into Virgo. So wherever you have those houses and those themes, they're going to be transformed. And then not only that, all the lessons we've implemented during these nodes in Aries and Libra, especially Aries, we're going to be having Neptune, and we're going to be having Saturn going into Aries next year. Buckle up. So yeah, final note. This is something I wrote in my notes. I heard somewhere, you don't learn to be an inspiration in someone's life. You become the voice you have needed for yourself. Therefore, through the struggles, you become your own inspiration, your own light to navigate your life, which in turn becomes a light for others. Henceforth, we have the hermit. What do you think the hermit does? They retreat. They go within themselves, ruled by Virgo. We're still in Virgo season, and we have quite a bit in Virgo right now. Not as much as in Libra, but we do. Now, the lantern, the light that shines this path. We would never gain access to that lantern if we couldn't be the light for ourselves to guide us. But going within is how you start developing a brighter light. And as that light within you becomes brighter, the lantern is reflected back into your reality, your mirror, your projection, your matrix, your road map. Okay? And that's how you make it through, being your own best teacher and the teacher for others. And I know I said this in a video and a reading because it came through. Not everyone's ready for that, to be a teacher for others. I want to be a teacher for others. I want to always be a student of life and a teacher where I can help others see these points of views, these higher philosophies of life. Because there is more to life than we see with our eyes. This illusion of a matrix that can really drown us in its pain, in our inner pain. Because let me tell you, if we have a reflection of pain, it's because we're suffering on the inside. And that is the root that we need to uproot and work on. But that is shadow work, and not everyone's ready for that. I know this is I have a more aggressive tone in this one. I've had to be aggressive with myself. Tough love, because I don't want to be stagnant. I am not going to ever settle in my life again. I've said this, and I will continue to say it, because there are many points where I have settled, where I say, I'm not settling. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I've never done this and that. There's many forms of settling. Only you know how you've settled. I'm not going to say that to others, because I know where I've settled. I don't want that. I will not settle. I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior. I'm going to fight for my love within, for the love of self, for that lantern to shine bright so I can guide others down this path of whatever path this spiritual path is. That's my light, and I will shine that light for you. I'll leave the light on for you. But I have to be strong and continue developing my light for myself. And that's what I have been doing, guys. So sorry for that. That oomph at the end. But that's what this is. That's what this journey has been for me lately. Hopefully I can record another one of these. But for now, something pushed me to do it. Something told me, get your words out. Because words are spells. They're real. They hold emotions, energy, love, all within a word. And I find that beautiful. All right, guys. Love you. On to the next one. Take care.